What's up guys, my name is Drew. This is Texas Redfish Hunter TV for those of you guys who are new to the channel. In the last video you saw me using this kayak. You guys had so many questions about it. You guys wanted a review. I decided, I've used it for about a month. I've got some good feedback on it. We're gonna get into it. If you're new around here, hit that subscribe button because I'm sure as I use it more and more I'll get some more feedback, some more tips along the way. But without further ado, let's get into the review of the cheapest Hobie on the market, the 2018 Hobie Compass. Now, Hobie really addressed some of their biggest criticisms with this kayak, starting with its price. Retail price out the door, you're looking at $19.49. That is actually a competitor to all the cheapest pedal drive kayaks on the market. So I was super impressed with that. But at the same time, I was like, I hope they didn't make it cheap. I hope it's still a Hobie. I hope that it still has that allure and that quality that Hobie is known for. And I was pleasantly surprised that this kayak definitely delivered. What the heck, son? But anyways, another huge criticism with Hobie was the weight of the kayak. The Outback weighed in at around 80 pounds. The PA-14, that thing weighed in at about 120 pounds. This thing, using the exact same plastic that they're using on these kayaks, weighs in at just 68 pounds. Now this lower weight actually makes this thing pretty easy to handle by yourself. I can get it in and out of the truck no problem. I can actually do it with the PA-14 as well, but this is much easier. You do have the front and the rear handles. You do not, however, get the side handles that you get on the Outback. I wish it had side handles. It would make it way easier to handle by yourself, which you still can do. I don't necessarily need them, but if you want them, that is an accessory that you can add later on down the line. This kayak is 12 feet long and 34 inches wide. It is very similarly dimensioned to the Outback, but you actually get more space in this kayak than you do with the Outback. Now you don't get a front hatch, you don't get all the necessary storage compartments. You do get a circular middle compartment. You can update that to the square one if you'd like to give yourself more storage. You can move that circular compartment up to the front. There are ways of adding more storage to this kayak. Now I usually just put my bag in the back. You get plenty of space for a bag. You get plenty of space for an H crate, whatever you need, wherever you want to put your tackle. A lot of it fits in the back. That is because of the new hole design. You get a little bit more space back there. And also in the back you get your 2 rod holders that you get on all your Hobie kayaks. Now I actually like adding more rods than just 2 when I go out fishing, so I have an actual DIY rod rack that I'll put onto the kayak that I made. If you want a video on that, leave it in the comments below because I've had a lot of people asking me about it. I've meant to make it weeks and weeks and weeks and months ago, and I just haven't gotten around to it. But if you want to see that, leave it in the comments below. Next, I want to get into the whole design of the Hobie Compass. If you look at it compared to the Outback and the Pro Angler, it is actually very similarly designed to the Pro Angler, which is why I think it leads to increased stability. It is wider in the back than the Outback, which also I think adds to the stability of this kayak. The Hobie Outback is a very stable kayak, and I actually think the Compass is more stable. There's the sun. Now the next question I know I'm going to get is, can you stand and fish in this kayak? And the answer to that is absolutely yes. It's actually got a very flat surface in front of the seat, and that actually makes it a lot easier to get up and stand and fish in this kayak. Now, what I will say is, if you're brand new to kayaking, you've never stood and fished before, you do not want to just jump straight up. You want to give yourself a little bit of an edge to kind of get used to standing and fishing, get your balance, get acquainted with it a little bit more before you just jump up and do it. But once you're used to it, there is absolutely no issue standing up and fishing on this platform. The rudder, as you can see, is also similar to the PA in that it is built into the hull. It is easy to move up and down. It's spring-loaded, so hitting the bottom won't damage it. It'll retract, so that's actually a really cool feature. Now at first the rudder actually looks pretty small. I was worried that it wasn't going to be tracking well or maneuver well, but I was pleasantly surprised in how well this thing actually maneuvers. It has a very tight turning radius, probably tighter than any other Hobie on the market, I would think, even with that small rudder. Tracking is also very good. I was surprised with it. The steering capability is easy. It's in a very comfortable position next to the seat, so moving this kayak is actually really easy to do as well. I was actually really surprised with how well this thing tracked and how well this thing maneuvered. Again, that Hobie quality is coming through in this kayak, and I didn't necessarily expect it with this being the cheapest version. Now we're going to get into the Mirage drive system. Now the Hobie Mirage drive system is my favorite pedal drive on the market simply because of efficiency alone. It is a straight pedal motion, meaning you just have to move your feet forward and backwards, and that's what gets this thing fluttering. I really prefer this to other pedal drives where you have to do like a full bike motion. It's a lot easier to just do this as opposed to a full bike motion. Again, that's my personal opinion, but that's why I really like the Hobie Mirage drive system. Now this kayak comes stock with the standard GT, standard drive, not the 180 drive that you get in the rest of the fleet this year. But these are well suited for the kayak off the bat. These are the ones that I have been using. I did about 10 miles probably at my most, which I could probably have done more. These things are efficient and easy to use. Now you're not going to win races. It's not very fast with these fins on it, but you can upgrade the fins to the turbo fins. You could even probably upgrade the drive to the 180 drive if you want that reverse feature. Like I said, these are good to use right off the bat, but if you find that you're going slow or you want to travel farther in a day, then you're going to want to upgrade to the turbo fins or the 180 drive. One thing people complain about with pedal drive systems is they're like, oh, well, you can't get very shallow. Well, that's not necessarily true. You can get very shallow in this kayak and it is still paddleable very easily. You can keep the Mirage drive in, you can use a clip that comes on the kayak, clip the Mirage drive back, those fins go up flat against the hull, and you're ready to go as shallow as you want. You can see me here paddling, and I think this is about 2 inches of water and I'm still getting through it. So these things can get very shallow. When I get shallow, I like pinning that Mirage drive back, standing up, and sight fishing. Push pulling through the marsh, sight fishing for those redfish. You bass guys, this is going to be absolutely perfect for you guys to stand up and push pull and look for those bass on beds when it gets to that spawning time of year. The best part, it's a very easy feature and you never have to remove the drive. All you got to do is pin it back and you can go anywhere you want to go. The last thing I want to talk about is this seat. Now this is not the Big Dog Vantage seat, so some people have been a little bit skeptical of it, but I can tell you that it does still give very good back support. I have a bad back. I used this thing for about 12 hours. I had no issues. You get the straps that allow you to move back and forth with that backrest to give you the back support that you want. You have a high and low position with the seat. You have pins that'll pin up and hold that seat in place. It's not loose. I have no issues with this seat at all. I really like it. Gives good back support. Definitely better than those old school Hobies with those cloth seats. So I'm really glad they added a really good seat in this thing and not one of those. I definitely need to upgrade the Outback. Now this kayak stock gets you out there and gets you fishing comfortably without ever having to put your rod down. And also, at the end of the day, there's a ton of accessories that you can add to this kayak to truly make this kayak your own and customize it fully. Even though this kayak is cheaper than all other Hobies on the market, this is still a fantastic, versatile fishing platform. It is still a Hobie. In my opinion, they really knocked it out of the park with this one. Now, if you have any further questions on the features of this kayak, go ahead and leave them in the comments below. I'll answer any questions that you guys have. Lastly, I know everybody has different styles of fishing, and they expect different things out of their kayaks to do different things. So this kayak might not be for everybody. It might not suit your style of fishing, but for most people who just want to get out there, have fun, have a very comfortable kayak that they can pedal, that they never have to put their rod down, this thing checks all of those boxes. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe if you're new around here. I'll be giving you updates on this kayak every video that I use it. But at the end of the day, guys, get out there and get fishing. We'll see you guys next time. Oh, man. This is good. I like this thing. Has my door been open the entire time? Great. Fantastic.